I can't stop twitching. Since.
Wait a minute. When is William Shatner here?
Hey, we're talking about Twitch today on the PixelBlips podcast. I'm Andy Ryan, my co-host Dave DeWert. Twitch, for me, I always liked Twitch.
Obviously, we talked about Twitch Plays Pokemon, 2 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But so we really like it. And I liked it a long time ago because the Retronauts used to have this thing called Retronauts Lunch Break where they'd go on Twitch and they'd play a bunch of old games on emulators.
Yeah. It was really cool.
So it's always cool to watch someone play a game and interact with them. I'm not that big on Let's Plays, but I am big on Twitch because I like interacting with someone while they're playing the game.
Yeah, and you can do live Let's Plays and then you just get the
recaps.
The recaps of it, or you can watch it again and whatever. That's really fun, especially when you're your name comes up and they start talking to you, and it's like, yay! But hooray for me! That's right.
But the cooler thing, because I like that interactivity, the cooler thing now, obviously we've been twitching a lot more.
I've been trying to stream a little bit more. If you watched last week's show, we talked about Titanfall for 40 minutes or whatever, and I, for whatever reason, can't stream Titanfall and play on the PC at the same time. So until
Titanfall, PC's not big enough?
No, I think it has to do with my crappy internet.
I thought the PC Master Race was the solution to everything.
It isn't not the solution. You look like a chicken.
Anyway. No, I like stream. I stream occasionally. My problem is I wish, and actually someone fixed this problem the other day. I was laughing. They took their PlayStation 4 camera and just flipped it over so it was looking at the TV, and then they just turned on their PlayStation 3 and streamed old games through the PlayStation app, and I was like, that's ingenious.
I did that once with my laptop. I just posted it up in the living room, and I was listening to podcasts or something, playing Dark Souls all day. And the guy, he looked at the webcam wall, and he's like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm the only guy that was in the room at the time. And it was so funny.
So the cool thing, I think, going forward, especially now that Twitch is on the Xbox One, even though there's no interactivity in the Xbox One streams.
Not yet. But,
it's
you
not
can
built
always...
in like it's built in on the PlayStation 4 side.
Yeah, but you could always do kind of what I do when I'm streaming is have your browser window open and just don't run the video so you're not getting views off of you, and then you have the chat box there and you can do whatever you want. And I believe there's also a dashboard that you can go to on Twitch, and it shows you your stream and it shows the chat room, and it's like a big chat room. So
No, that's not what I'm talking about, because you can look at the chat.
I know what you mean.
The chat room. I hate that term, snap.
Yeah.
So when I think snap, I go like that. That's snap isn't this.
Yeah.
It's this.
Stretch.
There's a
Maybe
difference.
that should be called stretch or something.
Shrink, I don't know. But anyway, you can snap the chat window onto your Xbox One stream, but that's not what I'm talking about. What we're talking about is the interactivity of games, where the Twitch audience gets to interact with the player in a way that isn't just through the chat, is actually through the game. Tomb Raider did this pretty good a little bit, where if you would die, the audience could vote on whether or not it would let you respawn. Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
That you could be like, yes, no, yes, no. Now, I don't know if it actually affected the game, and I'm sure the player, because I think everyone on Twitch would just be like, no, 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 no.
Well, if you watch Twitch play Pokemon.
The really cool one that has come out is, even though it crashes occasionally, Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition.
The PS4 one that we got for free in
with
March.
PlayStation Plus, yes. And what it does is saying okay, there's a bonus coming up. Everyone vote on the bonus. Now the bonus is going to be, if everyone votes yay, the player will be able to move 5% faster. If everyone votes no, he'll be 5% slower.
Oh shit. That's terrible.
And the really cool thing is, when people are voting, they throw their names into the game. So that you can then, if they totally ruin your game and you're going super slow.
Oh, so then there's zombies the names of the zombies are them.
They will be the zombies.
That's awesome.
Yes,
that's really cool.
Fun. It is super fun. I really enjoy it.
That's really cool. Well, their name just shows up anyway, whether they vote yay or nay.
Yes.
Okay, that's even better.
Yes.
So it's not just the people that are effing you over; it's everybody.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. I did not know that.
It takes a game that I really enjoyed on the PlayStation 3, and it adds a new aspect to it that makes the game, while not entirely new, since it does come with the extra added in DLC that
it makes it a fresher game.
A fresher experience.
It freshens it up.
Yes, and it's really fun, and getting to talk to people back and forth is always an pleasurable experience.
I do. The one thing I don't like about streaming on the PS4 is you can really only see about 3 lines of text at a time.
Yes.
I would think it would be more.
You have to kind of be on top of that chat window if you really.
Yeah,
want.
and if you're playing a first-person shooter or anything that's kind of twitchy that you're.
Yeah.
You really don't have time to read that, so it would almost help you to have a laptop off to the side so you could scroll back up after while you're respawning or whatever.
Yeah. But you can still do that. You can still have a laptop over the side logged into the chat window. I wish if I were arranging the box for the PlayStation 4.
Text here. Picture over here in the corner somewhere.
An ID over here in the corner. Like, that's what I would do.
Yeah, they didn't really think about that very much.
I don't think the 3 lines of text is that bad unless, once again, you're in a chat lobby with a bunch of people and it's.
Yeah, if you're like us and you got like 8 people watching.
But the delay helps.
there's what, a 20-second delay?
I think it's 20 seconds typed in for it showing up on your screen, and then it's 20 more seconds to get back and show up on the stream.
It's like a 40-second delay. And it also depends on their internet and all this other stuff. So, but yeah, Twitch is a really awesome thing. Like, there are people, I actually have a stream running a lot of the time when I'm just doing other crap. It's called SaltyBet. And I believe the website's saltybet.net. And it's a Twitch channel in which you bet on the outcomes of Mugen fights.
Yep. Which, if you don't know Mugen, it's a hacked version of Street Fighter 3.
It's a hacked fighter. That's all I know.
It's a hacked. I think the base is Street Fighter 3, but I might be wrong. Anyway, so there's a bunch of different backgrounds, there's a bunch of different characters. Like, one time I saw the chicken from Family Guy, and Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
so like, that's how crazy stuff gets.
Evil Ronald McDonald versus like crazy overpowered Akuma, and Ronald McDonald still won.
Yeah.
You make your custom fighters and stuff like that, and silly stuff like that, like SaltyBet and Twitch Plays Pokemon and things like that are really kind of the things that I absolutely adore about Twitch.
Yeah.
Not so much the fact that if you really wanted to during like an MLG weekend, you could watch as much League of Legends and Heroes.
I don't get into League of Legends. I'm like that is a thing that
Killzone,
I have
Titanfall,
just decided. Like, League of Legends and professional football, like, that is a thing that I can understand on an academic level.
But after that, I'm out.
But I am never going to be a fan of it because I just whatever.
I like watching good League of Legends games, like a good MOBA.
I like watching good football games, like.
A good MOBA game is really fun to watch if you know what's going on.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then you're just like, I don't get why they're not trying to kill each other right now. Well,
it's not like watching a Street Fighter match where you don't necessarily need to know the intricacies of everyone's hitboxes to watch it and say, wow, they're really beating.
Because they have a life bar up top that says this guy is at 100%, this guy is at like 3.
Yeah. You don't need to know about desperation moves to go, wow, this is really interesting to just watch.
Yeah, it is. And
especially if it's Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Because that thing is flashy as hell anyway.
But I have problems playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because it's like I feel like the old Maxell commercials, just the guy in his chair.
But Twitch has something for everybody. No matter what kind of game you like to play, somebody is streaming it.
I've seen a Twitch a Twitch stream of Barbie Horse Adventures. Like, that is how weird how far down the rabbit hole you can go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're not going to see, what was that PlayStation app that they banned?
Playroom?
Yeah, you're not going to see Playroom.
You have to do Ustream.
You can do it on Ustream, but you can't do it on Twitch because it's not gaming related anymore because too many people used it to show off nudity.
Yeah.
Which,
dicks on the internet.
Yeah. If you give somebody a camera, eventually there will be no-nos on it.
Mm-hmm. Which was really cool because the first couple of weeks we had like Tonight Show type.
Yeah, you had like talk shows, kind of like this. We could totally have done something like this on that.
The cool thing I like now is the other day I was watching, I guess it was on Ustream. Mm-hmm. It was a Playroom app where they were all playing Uno.
Uh-huh.
And they were all just kind of like slap, and the robots were like dancing on the table as they're trying to like slap down the.
Did they have the camera like up here and you could just see the top of the table?
No, the camera's like up here so you could see it. Well, I mean, they positioned the women underneath the camera so you could see down their shirts.
Well, of course, because that's whatever.
Yeah, because that's the internet. But the other thing was that the robots were dancing
one thing
around
the internet knows is its audience.
Yeah. The robots were dancing around the table, so the guy would slap down an Uno card and the robot would run away from the Uno thing and then like come back towards it cautiously.
Yeah.
So it's cool how they integrated the augmented reality.
Yeah, and then that stuff's really neat. It's unfortunate that
It can't be on Twitch.
They're not putting that on Twitch anymore. But
But it can still go on Ustream. So that's the other thing on the PlayStation.
or it could just be on the Live on PlayStation app on the system itself.
Yeah. Well, but have you ever used that app on your phone? It just links you to the web page for that Twitch stream or that Ustream stream.
Yeah.
I was like, it's
Not
supposed
so
to be
much.
integrated. But
The PlayStation app on Android leaves a lot to be desired. When I was
friends requests, messages.
it's all really
go to the
slow and not that
store.
great. It was funny. I logged into that app last week, and it took me to the Japanese store, and I don't know why.
Weird.
I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, but I don't know what else I would want that app to do. On the wish list, I would want them to integrate the stream so I could watch them.
Yeah.
Inside the app, I'd want them to integrate the store so I could surf the store inside the app instead of having going out to a web page.
But it does, I have bought games on the store, and then when I got home, they were downloaded and ready to go.
Oh yeah. No,
So that's if
I just
that is
want
all I
just
needed to
want
do.
integrated.
Yeah,
and,
you don't.
And it serves me the messages, the game alerts, and the friends list.
Yeah.
That's all I really needed it to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's actually easier for me to message people through the app than it is through the game system. So that's.
And linking
Thumbs up.
it to your PS4 and using it as a second screen is even better.
Yeah, so thumbs up on that. I think the integration with some programs like in Playroom, drawing a heart and throwing it out of the tablet,
even
and it
better.
pops up, even better, even cooler.
That's really cool stuff. There's some really, really neat stuff, and I'm
Using
glad.
that to navigate as the map, I like doing that.
And I'm really glad that Sony is using shit that people already have to connect to their system versus, hey, we came out with the peripheral or like the Wii U pad or whatever,
Or the Surface.
or the
But
Surface that
keep in mind, you're talking about the company that's charging you $200 for a PlayStation Vita. So
Yeah, but
So
you
you
don't
can
have
remote
to
play
have
the
a Vita.
PlayStation
You
Vita.
don't have to. If you already
Yeah.
own the Vita, you get added bonuses of, hey, now you can play your PS4 games on your couch while somebody else watches TV.
So I wish I had the camera, actually, not only for Twitch, but because I only have one controller. So the other day when I had a bunch of friends over, they were like, oh, I wanted to play PS4, and I was like, well, shit. Like,
Yeah. And I have two controllers, and I have nobody to play second player. Well, I don't have any two-player games on my Vita right now. Well, I have. I guess I could play Knack, but.
Well, Dead Nation's two-player.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't even
Two-player
know
co-op.
I don't even know if I've downloaded it. I might have to try to get my wife to play it.
It's
She only
fun.
likes Diablo, but that's okay. I like
It's
Diablo.
kind of
too.
Diablo-esque.
Is there loot?
Yes.
Is it like a loot pinata?
Yes.
Maybe.
You can actually go open. The cool thing they added for Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition is now when you open boxes, it will give you a small mini biography thing of the dude that had put the box there.
Oh, really?
So one time it's like, these are Jeff's glasses, and it's actually a dude's face pulled from the internet integration with everything.
From Facebook or whatever.
Or maybe from Housemarque, maybe it's one of their devs or one
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
PlayStation
yeah.
guys.
That's cool.
I don't know if it was Adam Boaz, but I got a dude that looked like Adam Boaz, and I was like, that looks
like
maybe.
this guy.
So if I ever open a treasure chest and it's Shuei Yoshida, I'm gonna be like, woo!
Yeah.
But it's cool because it integrates all that in.
No, that's probably buried at the bottom of
as
some
you get
building.
loots.
And, yeah.
So yes, there's loots. You can spec out your character.
That might be cool then. I might be able to convince her because
as a
I've already
freebie,
told her
I
we're
feel
going to
like
buy the
this is
PS4 version of Diablo 3.
I feel like this is a game. I feel like Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition. This is a game that if it were $10, it is a must buy. If it's $15, it's you'll enjoy it. You should buy it. If you haven't already played the first game,
And
this is just a remix edition of that.
And if you're a Plus member, hey, it's free. Go get it.
Yeah, and you're probably a Plus member anyway.
Which you should be because Plus is the best deal in gaming.
At this point, I want. If it worked all the time, there are bugs in it. It does crash occasionally. It crashed on me once.
I mean, shit happens. It's a video game.
But at this point, I would like them to switch out Resogun and keep Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition as the primary game for PlayStation 4.
Which I don't think they're going to
Because
do just yet. But.
Well, but it shows you how to use the Twitch integration.
Yeah,
it makes
does.
That fun.
It does. It does make that.
It does what Resogun does, and it does this Twitch thing. And it's by the same company, so.
Well, maybe. I mean.
But the Twitch integration is really fun. So my ideal Twitch integration is if you are playing an RPG, the Twitch integration can start moving a meter back and forth like democracy or anarchy.
Like for
in Twitch plays Pokemon.
Oh, God.
But it's moving it to like
more
the
random
harder
encounters
more
or less random encounters?
Less random encounters. More random. And as it gets to more random encounters, because if you played Bravely Default, you can actually, it's in a slider in the options, more, less, or none. As it gets over here, they're harder battles, but you're getting more loot from them. So like, yeah, the Twitch people moved it all the way to the horrible end of the monster spectrum, but you had to use like 3 healing potions, but for beating this guy, you're getting 3 healing potions.
And a bunch of loot.
A bunch of armor, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really neat
I think
ideas,
that's like totally
right?
cool. Like, or like in a platformer, the integration becomes like, it's basically the enemy pop, you know, back and forth. Or if you're playing Sonic, how many rings is 1 ring actually worth? So if they like...
It's like Bitcoins.
Yeah, like, can you, like...
How many dollars is a Bitcoin worth?
When Sonic gets hit, you're moving this slider back and forth. When Sonic gets hit, how many rings pop out of him when he gets hit? Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be neat. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I mean, like, let's say you have 100 rings and you get hit, which I always hate when that happens.
problem with that would be is...
But if it moves over here, you know, 100 rings pop out of you when you're hit. But if you
100% of your rings, or...
No. Well, okay, well, we'll phrase that. So you're here, you have 50 rings, make it easy. You have 50 rings, and they move the slider over here. When you get hit, 100 rings pop out. Or they're back here, when you get hit, only 3 rings pop out. So it never goes to just 1 or 2 rings, but there's a minimum. But wouldn't that be so cool?
That would be neat. The problem with that in particular is if you're streaming and you have like no viewers.
Oh, well, whatever.
Then you're just playing the game as you have it set up. And so basically they're effing with your settings while you're playing the game
pretty
live.
Much. Like, wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool, but I can't
imagine
imagine how much work that would be on the back end for each game.
Well, when you see the integration into this Dead Nation, it's the same stuff.
It's just a text parser.
It's basically a text parser. Although I think there's actually a yes or no box you have to click. Because I did it.
Do you want Twitch to F with you or not?
I did it with 2. Well, no, but the Twitch people have to click yes or no.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just Y or N. But like, so for the Tomb Raider option, if they go, no, we don't want her to respawn, well, then to respawn, there's a little button press mini game.
Yeah.
So you can override Twitch if you want.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just all these things that would be so cool, like...
To get really good at Simon.
Yeah, like, or for a Call of Duty game, how quickly does their health regenerate? So if you're watching...
Or if they respawn at all, or...
So if you're watching this dude's Twitch game, and he's playing Call of Duty, and he's got a huge kill streak, and he's blowing everyone else up, and he's just a huge a-hole, you can move it all the way there so that when he gets hit, he has like 3 seconds to get into cover before he dies.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
It would be so much fun, though.
And you know, for tournaments and stuff, that would have to be turned off. Like, they would have to turn that off.
100%. Totally.
And then, you know, if Twitch is screwing you over, then you're just going to stop streaming, or you're going to turn off the ability for them to mess with it.
Well, yeah, but on the flip side, if Twitch is helping you...
You're going to leave it on, of course, because then you have an unfair advantage versus everybody else. And everybody else may not be streaming and may not have that option.
Well...
I mean, I see that it is really cool. I would say let's keep that for single player only.
Well, like, I think multiplayer would be cool.
It would be cool.
Like, here's a good example. If you get to vote on the next kill streak that drops.
Something like that would be cool.
So like
something that doesn't affect the gameplay
kill streak's going up,
a very
and it says,
direct
okay,
function.
here's the thing. You can get the UAV or the attack dogs. And it's
no. It's something really awesome and something terrible. Like
but
here's fluffy bunnies.
Yeah, exactly. Like this dude's being an a-hole, so we know he's being an a-hole because his kill death ratio is all the way in the triple digits. So we know he's camping. So his next kill streak is going to be either the UAV or his gun now makes fart noises and he runs around with giant pink ears on that everyone can see.
Or he's on it, like he's exposed on the minimap or something.
Yeah. So like, or, you know, it could just
it could puts a little tent icon on it.
Yeah, it could be 2 like random things that would be like, you could get a choice between the UAV or the attack dogs.
Yeah.
Or like the next weapon drop is a AK-47 or an M16.
Yeah.
So sort of similar things. And Twitch just votes that way.
Yeah, and that'd be kind of cool.
It gives the guys on Twitch that are watching another way to interact with
a little bit of agency in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a game within a game.
Yes. like, if you were playing Shenmue on Twitch, you could look for sailors or that black car that drove over here yesterday.
No.
I've been playing a lot of Yakuza. I think when I'm on vacation, I might be playing some Shenmue.
Don't mention Shenmue. That makes me sad.
Shenmue, I miss you.
Please, somebody make Shenmue 3 for the PS4.
I found an original Xbox on sale for $7. I still might go back and get it for $7. No controller.
If it's still there.
Yeah, $7, no controller. But
that's okay. The controller's.
I found $10 Shenmue 2 with the extra bonus Shenmue 1 DVD, and I was like, I really want Shenmue. I really want Shenmue 2.
Don't you
I don't have anywhere to put an Xbox.
Don't you have Shenmue though?
I have Shenmue 1
on the Dreamcast.
Yes.
Well, then
On
you've
the
already got it
best
for the
system ever made.
You already have it for the superior system, so it's fine. I wasn't gonna say the Dreamcast was a piece of crap. I'm sad that it is dead, and I really
It'll never die.
I'm sad that they have stopped developing games for it.
Yeah, there's still new games coming out for it. Actually,
Are they?
every so often I get an email.
Oh, what was that? That game you kickstarted? That JRPG.
Pure Solar.
Yeah, coming out on the Dreamcast.
Because I kickstarted Pure Solar, I also signed up for this newsletter for Dreamcast games. So every once in a while I get an email like, hey, Day of Defeat 3 is coming out in Japan, and we're trying to localize it for over here. And it's like, man, I really do like Day of Defeat. Day of Defeat, of course, the shmup, not the
first-person shooter.
The shmup. And I was like, man,
I really wish they were coming out with Dreamcast games in the U.S. still, but...
I mean, but people are still releasing them.
And it's not like it's hard to burn it to a Dreamcast disc. It's just a CD.
Yep.
Like, burning Dreamcast games is as easy as burning Sega CD games.
Yes, so, and the other thing that I really wish, now that Twitch is on the Xbox One, Twitch is on the PlayStation 4, I wish they would let you stream stuff from an exterior source.
No, because then people would be streaming their freaking cable box.
I know. Damn.
Through the Xbox One.
Because, like, I wish I could plug in my Dreamcast and stream it through the PlayStation 4.
Well, there's no audio, there's no inputs.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, but hypothetical, airplay.
Yeah, you would. That would be cool, and you know maybe
HDMI cable. HDMI can work both ways, by the way.
That's great, except then you have no way of seeing what you're streaming.
Well, yeah.
So.
I mean, but you can see it on the TV, and it can stream whatever's on the TV.
Yeah, I know.
So I would.
Yeah. Again, people would be streaming their cable boxes, and you don't want that.
Yes. So, but the Twitch integration in games, I think, is the next big thing.
Yeah, and then that would be really, really cool.
Especially since something like 20% of all Twitch streams are PlayStation 4 games.
Well, yeah. Well, you've got, what, 6 million PS4s in the wild, roughly?
Yep. Congratulations, PlayStation.
You hit your goal.
Yeah, well before you wanted to.
Yeah. You still got about a week to sell another however many and make it 7.
Yeah. I like everyone's like, they're not doing as good in Japan. They only sold 300,000. It's like, did you realize Japan has a lot less people in it, right?
And Japan got it like 2 weeks ago?
Man, I want that Yakuza game that came out in Japan. Yakuza Ishin, the restoration takes place during the Meiji era in the latter part of the 18th century.
I've heard of it.
In the 19th century? I was like, oh.
Well, PS4s are region free, right?
Yeah, but it's all in Japanese. That's one
okay.
thing I almost bought.
You can figure it out.
I almost bought Yakuza Kensen, which is, once again, all in Japanese for the PlayStation 3, and I was like, Yakuza games have a lot of reading. This isn't going to be good for me.
Yeah, I really wish, and this is just me.
Maybe they would. Since there's a drought for the PlayStation, and there will be a drought, it will happen. Don't worry about it. It always happens.
It happens every year. It happens a couple times.
If I were like Adam Boyes in charge of that PlayStation group that did Borderlands and is doing something else that I don't remember.
Oh, isn't Borderlands for the Vita coming out soon?
Borderlands 2 for the Vita. That's the one they did. If I were them, I'd be like, hey guys, Sega.
Yakuza, go.
What if we took Yakuza 5 that you've already made your money off of over here, and we just translated it and put it to the PlayStation 4? Or Yakuza Inshin, because it's already made for the PlayStation 4. We just translate it.
Yeah, but then
Meanwhile, Mark Cerny.
Here's the problem with the translating it. They're not just, they have to do the voice acting as well because there's a lot of people.
No, Yakuza doesn't do voice acting.
Oh, they don't do voice acting anyway?
No, Yakuza did voice acting for the first Yakuza.
And it was terrible.
And they didn't like it, so they were like,
let's just translate the script and put it out.
Subtitles, yeah.
They should just do that anyway.
Yeah, always better. So meanwhile,
Mark Cerny.
At the Game Developers Conference, Mark Cerny and Yu Suzuki are doing a post-mortem on Shenmue. Why do they tease me so much?
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just looking for sailors.
Stop looking for sailors. Your sailors are gone.
Have you seen any sailors?
Why?
I'm looking for sailors.
So dumb.
It was just bad because the translation was bad.
Oh man.
Like if I were in charge of that group, I'd be like, hey Sega, here we'll take Ishin off your hands. We'll translate it. We'll show you we can do a good job. And then we're going to do an HD remake of Shenmue 1 and 2, and we'll see how that one does. If that one's okay, maybe we can do Shenmue 3 and finish it off.
Was it supposed to be a 3-part game?
No, it's supposed to be 16 chapters.
And how many chapters?
The first game only covers chapter 1 and 2. I think either 1 and 2 or prologue in chapter 1. And then Shenmue 2 is chapters 3 through 6. Don't quote me on that. I haven't played Shenmue 2 in a long time.
So
I actually rented an Xbox while I was in college to play Shenmue 2. Yes.
that's amazing. Andy playing something that isn't Sony branded.
Yeah, now I need to go buy an Xbox so I can play Shenmue 2.
That's okay.
It's just so like when
you can definitely get one for under $30.
Game,
so.
Yeah, it's a type of game like when you play a Yakuza title or when you play Shenmue, there is nothing else like it. I always liken it to if you took all of Grand Theft Auto and squished it down to an 8-block radius.
Yeah, that's a pretty valid.
So
because I remember playing Shenmue and it was like that.
It is literally like that dense with crap. Of like Shenmue's like, hey, this door's unlocked. I'm just gonna walk through this house and rummage through their drawers. Or like in Yakuza, it's like, hey, I need to refill my health. I'm gonna go to one of the 3, whether it's
noodle places
Kyushu
close by,
noodles or Chinese food or like a weird Burger King ripoff.
Because they can't use Burger King.
Yeah, I think it's Smile Burger. They're like, so
Smile Burger? Okay.
I'm going to go to one of these 3 places. I'm also going to have a hostess club and do all this other stuff. Like, it's just the density of crap in those games is anytime someone goes, should I play Shenmue? I always go, how much time do you have to devote to this one game?
And a
because
game
what
like
you're going to do in Shenmue is literally dive deep. Like the idea behind Shenmue is literally you are that dude. You can do whatever you want in solving this murder, but you have like a set amount of time to finish your objectives.
Yeah.
If you want to waste all your time
at the arcade playing
Hang On at the arcade or
Space Harrier,
an excellent version of Space Harrier, by the way.
Yeah.
You can do that. Or if you want to, just spend some money on a gachapon machine and get like little Sega
collector
tidbits
figurine
things, you can do that. Or if you want to just hang out and talk to random people, you can do that.
And that would be
if you want to get drunk at a bar, you can do that.
Those would be fun games. Like an open world game like that would be awesome for Twitch, right? Like playing Shenmue on Twitch while people are like, okay,
especially since Shenmue literally has a clock that's always
you should totally go over here and you it's like Twitch plays Pokemon, but you're actually playing the thing and you're just going off of Twitch's suggestions. But they're like, oh, go to the arcade for an hour and play Space Harrier. Okay.
The cool thing in Shenmue or Yakuza, if you put it on Twitch integration, was for the Twitch chat people to actually show up in the crowd.
Be like random guy number
Shenmue
6.
And Yakuza, like you're in crowded places, and as you're walking, you'll hear little tidbits that people say.
That would be cool.
That are just like, hey, I want to buy a cell phone. Hey, I want to do this. Like as you're walking.
Instead of that, you see the little chat bubbles that come up.
A Twitch chat and just says, boom, there it is, or stuff like that.
So it'd be like walking around in an MMO with, like, because I know WoW did this where you could turn chat bubbles up in the world versus just having a little chat box in the corner.
Yeah. Like it wouldn't be obviously
that would be really that'd be really
every
cool.
line from Twitch, or else you would never be able to see what game you were playing because it would be like bubbles. But
well, it would also depend on how like they'd figure out a way to do it, right? But those people who do the crazy ASCII things where it's like dodge or something. It's like no, don't do that.
Like the cool thing you could do in Yakuza is actually when you get stopped by people to fight, you actually could name them these dudes.
Or their names were just random stuff.
Yeah.
And that'd be really like that stuff would be really cool. Like I could totally see Watch Dogs doing that.
Yakuza is Shenmue mixed with River City Ransom.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, like the idea of like in an open world game where the random people are generated, like their names are generated out of whoever's watching your Twitch stream, or just the base names of people, right? Like whatever they have in the bank. That's a really cool idea. I think that is a really, really neat thing.
And it wouldn't be hard to do, and it's kind of fun.
Well, we don't know that it wouldn't be hard to do from a
From
technical
a
standpoint.
technical
But
standpoint, it can't be impossible because they're already doing it.
they're doing it
Dead Nation.
in certain games.
Yeah, they've already pulled. They've already figured out. They've already jumped that hurdle. So
so we know it can be done. It just, is it worth it for the developer to do it?
yes, you can make Shenmue 3, and you should. Don't forget to spay neuter your Pokemon, or Digimon, or Monster Rancher,
Or your, yeah.
and we'll see you next week.